Hello my guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing all things First Order Part 2. So last time we talked about Supreme Leader Kylo and his team, his arena team, his probably best in the game team just about. We could argue about that later on. But for now, today we're talking about the B team, which is Captain Phasma. She used to be a meta character right when the game came out because her lead works with anyone to some extent, not perfectly, but to some extent. However, what really pulled her up a tier to kind of that B level, that level of back row teams in Territory Wars, that character that can help out in Grand Arena, is the Omicron that they gave her, specifically to make the grind for a GL, because you need to get her to Relic 5 for Supreme Leader Kylo useful, interesting, right? So in Territory Wars, firstly, she gets 10% chance to call around mana to assist additionally. Now, it says here you get a 60% chance already to assist for a first order character, which is really cool. There's some other bits here about advantage, but we're going to get into that in a second. Secondly, Captain Phasma gets 100 speed. Now, if you mod her to be about 300-ish speed, it means she will be faster than any other non-GL character, give or take. I mean, you need some god tier mods to get characters up to 400 speed. So if you got your Phasma at 300 speed, she'll be 400 speed. Means she's going to go first. That's important, and I'll explain in a second why that's important. Thirdly, attacks out of turn, heal, health, and protection. That really ties in nicely with First Order Stormtrooper. Again, we'll see him in a second. And advantage, you get stacking offense. You're going to get loads of offense in this team, and you get 10 meter every time you get advantage. Super important. There's so much advantage in this team. It's unreal. Now, the first one is from her. She takes the first turn. You use a middle ability. 50% turn meter. Your team basically takes a turn with this. They have a 70% chance to assist. They all get advantage, which means they all get 7.5% extra turn meter, and they get 10% stacking offense. Wonderful. So you go stacking offense out from the gate, you get 10 assists, and you basically make it so all your characters are going to go first. That's great. Use a lot, it's kind of fine, whatever. Speed down, AoE is nice enough. Basic, the only nice bit about this is a 50% chance to get advantage, but you're not going to need it because you get so much advantage from everybody else, as you saw before. For her, I vote her for health and protection for the most part because of the healing, but I do try and put a bunch of speed secondaries on to get it close to 300 speed. The team is made up of Special Forces TIE Fighter pilot, kind of average character at best. We're not going to go into him too much. First Order Executioner, very simple kit, gets stacking health, gets health steal, removes buffs on his special. That's about all there is to him. He's a fun character. You can do some really kind of niche things with him, but you know. But when it really comes into his own, is with First Order Stormtrooper, who's the tank of this team, and First Order TIE Fighter pilot, who is an Omicron-based GAC character. So look at him first. And what's cool about this is that ignore the mods because they're shocking, but his GAC bit. So remember that in GAC, Phasma's Omicron doesn't apply. That's sad. However, you do get 50% max health straight up with this. Second, whenever an ally has advantage, they do critical damage and have speed, 100 speed. And remember, Phasma is pushing out advantage through her second ability for 2 turns. So she's giving people speed for 2 turns from that. Plus she has a 50% chance on a basic to give herself advantage too, which is 100 speed. Damage carries turn. If they don't have advantage, they have 100% tenacity. It means it's very hard to block them, to stun them, to daze them. Attacks out of turn, of course, with Phasma, even though it's only 60% in GAC, you still get the attacks out of turn. So it's good to stop the dazing, to stop them from doing that. Whenever anyone loses advantage, they gain health protection. Great. That kind of mimics a little bit the healing from attacks out of turn from Phasma, just in a different game mode. So in both game modes, you can have that same healing capabilities, which is great for First Order Stormtroopers. You can see in a second. When you get bonus turn meter, they get advantage, and when you get advantage, you get bonus speed, critical damage. Brilliant. Whenever you gain foresight, all allies gain foresight, means you can't hit them, which is great. It all just helps the team run faster. As I said, this links into the Stormtrooper, and you need, again, the thing is, you need all these characters to unlock Supreme Leader Kylo I. He looks like he's a very basic, he does have a very basic gift. He's basic, speed down, okay. If he has advantage, dispel all buffs from the person, okay. I mean, he's going to have advantage all the time, so dispelling buffs is good. So you're going to be able to do that most of the time, because he's mostly going to have advantage if you do this right. But where he comes into the next two, firstly, this one here gives turn meter. So that is much like Phasma's middle ability. So you can get 25% turn meter bonus from him, you get 50% bonus from her. pushing the whole team forwards constantly. Gains advantage. As you know, when you get advantage, you get 100 speed in GAC from the Omicron from TIE Pod, and then Territory Wars from Phasma. When you get advantage, you get 7.5% turn meter, and you get 10% offense stacking. So, depending which game we're in, he is buffing himself up one way or the other. And then really this is where it comes into his own, right? Because he has a 65% chance to counterattack. So in Territory Wars with Phasma, that's a 5% heal, health, and protection. Great. 2/3 of the time, he will do that. And as a tank, he gets hit a lot, has a high chance to fire back. He'll hit himself back a lot. So if you mod him for health and protection, he'll keep healing himself back. When he uses his ability, he also has a 50% chance to call him out to assist. Again, in Territory Wars, it means they will heal too for 5% health protection. Great. Doesn't matter about the damage, that sucks a bit, but if you imagine you have the stacking offense in Territory Wars, you're probably going to overcome that in a few turns. And the last thing, if it was a first order ally, which of course it is because you're working with a first order team, grant them advantage for 2 turns, which in Territory Wars gives you 7.5% turn meter, yay, and also gives you stacking offense, yay. And if it was in GAC instead, and the Omicron from TIE Fighter Pod, you then get the 100 flat speed increase and the critical damage up, and you get the chance to get nasty up when you lose advantage, and you basically all of the buffs and all the abilities pile into Stormtrooper, whether it's in GAC or whether it's in Territory Wars. He basically is an all-round character that kind of fits in nicely no matter either way you go with the team. So it makes it very easy to work around whether it's Territory Wars or Territory Battles if you have both Omicrons. And to be honest, to me, they're both worth it for back row teams. GAC at the top level really do are really based on those small bits, those little bits of like losing a few banners here or there in my experience. GLs, everyone has counters to GLs, everyone has GLs that counter GLs, everyone has, Fennec Shan to defeat Lord Vader, right? Not everybody has that team left over at the end to beat the high relic level first order team with the Omicrons, for example, at least not cleanly, and those banners are what can win you or lose your matches. Now, I have missed out one character in all of this, both in the first video and the second video, which is Kylo Ren Masked, the OG Kylo, the original Kylo, the one you used to get free when you signed up for the game way back at the start. You would get him at 4-star, unlock a fun, interesting character. He was very popular at the start, then he fell out of favor. Then when GAC came around, he came right back into favor because he had the ability to solo a whole bunch of B/C level teams. Now, how does he do it? Really simple. He's basically just healing immunity. That's always cool. And inflicts damage over times. That's kind of cool too. The healing immunity is really where it's at, but the other ones is fine too. His middle ability, and this is where some people use him with Phasma's team, and it's okay to. I mean, I just don't, but you can do because his AoE, which is his middle ability, pumps out turn meter. So again, if you're using him in there and you have Stormtrooper and you have Phasma, you are pumping out 50% turn meter with Phasma with her special, 25% with him, and he gets this a lot. And you can see why in a second he's unique. He gets this a lot. This ability, it basically resets every single turn. And Trooper will constantly keep getting it too because he's getting pushed through turn meter from Phasma to keep turning up his abilities really quickly, to keep giving him the chance to do his second ability constantly. This also does damage equal to Kylo Ren's critical damage, 30%, which is nice. All and good. And you do get retribution. Always nice to counterattack because again, in Territory Wars, it means you're going to heal thanks to Phasma. Counterattacking out of turn. So that's a very nice one. Outrage. Wonderful. Stuns. And heals back protection equal to damage. There are not many people who can heal back protection, to be frank, in the game. Most people heal health or do health steal. Kylo Ren is one of the few that flat out recovers huge amounts of protection for yourself in one turn quickly, plus stun as well, which is brilliant. And really helps him to become a solo machine being all Republic characters. He can beat, let's see which teams. Obviously, you can beat Ewoks and things like that. Ewoks may be more difficult now. They've got Princess Nisa, but I've used him against Padme. Actually, ironically, he's actually very good against Padme in 3v3 and 5v5. Either solo or with one other person to help him work around. I did some really fun things in the past before with him with Niles or him with Treya randomly. Um, but his unique, I suppose, where he pulls all of the abilities together is something unique, which is he takes damage, he gets 50% stacking defense. Okay. So it means every single time he gets to hit in between, when he's soloing people, he gets hit 5 times for every one hit he takes. So he gets stacking defense very quickly. He also gets stacking offense. So the first time he hits after they've all taken their turns, it's going to be for probably 75% offense, which is great. He has a 50% chance every time he gets hit to reset his cooldowns, which means if he gets hit 4 or 5 times before his next turn, he's going to reset his cooldowns. He's going to reset them. And then I suppose the last bit, which is perhaps the most important bit, Kylo takes reduced damage based on health effects. It means you can't Rexalite him, you can't Grievous doesn't really work against him very well, that kind of thing. He gets 10 speed for every debuff, so he puts damage over times on himself a lot, as it says there. Whenever he uses special, he gets damage over time, which means he is fast. Right? You can mod him to be quite fast, but he's going to speed himself up because every time he does it, he's going to put damage over times. But he again gets hit, he's getting damage, he is stacking damage over times constantly. So he will ramp up his speed very quickly. Now, all that together makes him a bit of a monster, quite frankly, in GAC because he can take it to teams who don't have enough flat damage to actually kill him, quite frankly. Because he can heal with his special, because he has 10 million buffs, because he can put healing immunity on other people, and because he can basically speed himself up and make himself stronger through damaging himself. I guess that's kind of like the guy in the film, right? It makes him really, really good. So well worth having as a character as a backup, and that's why I don't include him with the other team because he is very, very fun to use just in solo or with other random characters to possibly pull out random GAC victories. Alright guys, so I don't actually have that much footage of the first order that isn't Kylo Ren on attack. I usually use them to defend with in either 3v3 or 5v5. However, there is one bit here which is from a recent Grand Arena stream I did where I used OG Kylo against the Old Republic. Someone in Kyber 2 decided to set a relatively low level team. The Old Republic are not a great team anymore, but people still spend one defense. And to be honest, in the mid and early game, they're a team people use a lot because, of course, you need them to unlock Jedi Revan and Darth Revan to different accents, for example. Karth is needed for Jedi Revan, or say Juhani or Candace for Darth Revan. So you do need them. So people do often at lower run levels to put them in defense. So it's a really easy way to clean up. I mean, as you can see over the next minute or so, OG Kylo really does destroy them pretty quick. Basically, he is able to overwhelm them with his specials, and the fact that they put in huge numbers of damage over times basically makes him stronger and counterattacks constantly. Even though he's blinded, sometimes he can cleanse, give himself turn meter, all that kind of thing. He can recover protection, which means he is a full banner character. You can see all the damage over times just stack, and as you may remember from his kit just a couple of minutes ago, damage over times makes him faster, makes him stronger. So he is absolutely loving every single one of those. And once you get past the first character, once he gets past Alvar the tank, the rest of it just kind of falls into place. You just kind of blow the rest of them away pretty quickly. It helps that if you get Karth out quickly, to be honest, because he does heal from his Zetas. Many people have his Zeta early on, as well because of course he is the pilot for the Ebon Hawk, so Zetas do help make your ships a little faster. And you can see it's really easy to actually just max out your banners here with this one, right? There you go. And it's that magical number, right? Okay, so hopefully that's a quick overview of the First Order over the two videos, be it Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, or be it the rest of the characters, basically. I haven't talked about the Finalizer, but that is, of course, an important part of the First Order. Firstly, because pretty much every one of those members there is a pilot, so having them high relic level to unlock Supreme Leader Kylo Ren means you get good level pilots, which means in turn you get good level ships. But the Finalizer itself is a very, very good ship. It's very, very bad on defense, but on attack, it can beat almost anything. You could beat the Negotiator, you can beat the Malevolent, you can beat Throne, you can beat Darken in Home 1, no, that's all fine, whatever. You can beat the Executor too, straight up. If you have the right team set up and you have the right RNG a little bit, because it's not 100% perfect, you can beat the Executor, 7-star Executor with that team. So it is a very versatile, very good ship to have in your arsenal. Which means that getting Screen of the Calibre means you get three things: him and his team, great team; Phasma, good B team, and her characters go with it, especially if you get the Omicrons, both in Territory Wars and in GAC. And you get the Finalizer, a great fleet that you need fleets for GAC, right? We all need at least 2 fleets nowadays on attack and 2 on defense, if not 3 on attack and 3 on defense if you're up in the Kyber leagues. So you need those good fleets, and having relic level pads for every single ship, plus the Finalizer itself, really does make a big difference to your GACs. Trust me, I have done many a battle with the Executives and the Finalizer, and not a maxed out Finalizer either, so 6-star, that kind of thing, and being able to break maybe over 2 fights sometimes the Executive, which is all you need to do to win these GACs sometimes. So, like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below if you find that interesting, or if there's any teams in particular you want me to work on, or any factions you want to work on. Otherwise, everyone, just stay safe out there and have a really great rest of your day.